Hello friends, in this video I will try to describe different types of infinite series. So in the first part of infinite series I have described the basic ideas of infinite series, that is the idea of sequence of infinite partial sums, the history from Zeno's paradox and so on. So now I will mention different types of infinite series in this video. We know that the convergence of an infinite series depends on the convergence of sequence of partial sums. So the series may be convergent, divergent or oscillatory depending on the nature of sequence of partial sums. Say for example, a sequence may be convergent. Let us consider an infinite series, that is 1 plus half plus 1/4 plus 1. That is the infinite geometric series with common ratio half. So if we compute the nth partial sum Sn, that will be the sum of this geometric series. This is nothing but 1 minus half to the power n divided by 1 minus half, that is 2 times 1 minus half to the power n. So if we take the limit n tends to infinity on the sequence Sn, then limit will be 2. That is a finite number. Therefore, the sequence of partial sum is convergent. Therefore, the given infinite series must be convergent. So this is an example of convergent infinite series. Now go to the next example. Consider an infinite series 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus so on plus n plus 1. So the Sn will be sum of first n natural numbers. This is nothing but n times n plus 1 divided by 2. So if we take limit n tends to infinity, the limit Sn will be infinity. That is, the sequence of partial sum is not convergent. Therefore, the given series is divergent. Next, consider the series minus 1 to the power k plus 1, where k varies from 1 to infinity. That is, the series is 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1. That is, the series is oscillatory. So if we take Sn, that will be 1 for odd n and 0 for even n, because for even n, the sum of consecutive term, that is 1 minus 1 minus 1 will give 0. So therefore Sn is 0 for even n and 1 for odd n. Therefore the sequence of partial sum is oscillatory. Therefore the given infinite series oscillates finitely between 0 and 1. Similarly, we can consider an infinite series which oscillates infinitely. Say for example, let us consider the series minus 1 to the power n plus 1 times n, that is 1 minus 2 plus 3 minus 4 plus 5 so on. So the nth partial sum Sn will be n plus 1 by 2 for odd n and minus n by 2 for even n. Therefore the given series oscillates infinitely. That is, the series oscillates between minus infinity and plus infinity. Cauchy's criteria is an important part of the theory of sequence and infinite series. We have already know the Cauchy's general principle of convergence from the theory of real sequence. Now, what's the Cauchy's criteria for infinite series? This states that an infinite series summation n converges if and only if, for any arbitrary positive number epsilon, there exists a positive integer capital N such that the modulus of n plus 1 plus n plus 2 plus up to n plus p should be less than epsilon for each integer value of p and for all small n greater or equals to capital N. So this is very simple idea from the Cauchy's general principle of convergence of real sequence. So how can I prove this result? So let us consider the nth partial sum Sn as the sum of a1, a2, a3 up to an, that is Sn equals to a1 plus a2 plus an. So we know that the summation an, that is the given series, converges if and only if the sequence of nth partial sum is convergent. So now, due to Cauchy's general principle of convergence of the real sequence, the sequence Sn converges if and only if for given positive epsilon there exists a positive number capital N, so that the difference of Sn plus p and Sn should be less than epsilon, that is modulus of Sn plus p minus Sn less than epsilon for all small n greater or equals to capital N. So we know that Sn equals to summation of a1, a2 and an. So clearly Sn plus p will be the summation ak, where k varies from 1 to n plus p, and Sn will be summation ak, where k varies from 1 to n. So clearly the difference gives that the modulus of summation ak, where k equals to 1 to n plus p, minus ak, where k equals to 1 to n, should be less than epsilon. So now subtracting the common terms, we have got our required result, that is modulus of a1 plus an plus 1 plus an plus 2 plus an plus 3 up to an plus p should be less than epsilon. So this is the necessary and sufficient condition for the convergence of the given series an. Now I will describe one of the important result of infinite series, that is Abel-Bringham's theorem. This theorem states that if the sequence an is monotonic decreasing, then the convergence of the infinite series summation an implies that limit n tends to infinity, n times an must be 0. So how can I prove this result? Suppose the given series an summation an converges, then for given positive epsilon there exists a integer n, capital N, so that an plus 1 plus an plus 2 plus up to a small n should be less than epsilon by 2 for small n greater or equals to capital N. So already it is given that the sequence is monotonic decreasing. So clearly each term of the left hand side of the previous inequality should be greater or equals to an small n. So clearly small n times capital N, small n minus capital N times an should be less than epsilon by 2 if small n greater or equals to capital N. But it is given that the series is convergent, therefore limit n tends to infinity, an is 0. So clearly we can choose any capital N, any k greater than capital N, so that n times an should be less than epsilon by 2 if small n greater or equals to capital K. Therefore from previous inequalities we have small n times an should be less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2, this is nothing but epsilon, if small n greater or equals to capital K. So clearly we have got n times an is less than epsilon. So if we take limit n tends to infinity, then limit n tends to infinity, n times n will be 0. Therefore the result is proved. Note one thing, this condition is only necessary condition but not sufficient, because if we consider the series summation 1 by n times log n, the series is divergent, but the previous condition, that is limit n tends to infinity, n times n that is limit n tends to infinity, 1 by log n gives 0. So our previous condition is satisfied, but the series is divergent, therefore this condition is not sufficient but necessary.